This episode, we are talking about what is on our cell phone home screens.
So we were just talking about, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We were just talking about how cool it would be if, because Belal was getting me hip to some apps, and I was thinking like it would be such a cool thing if like communities did, for example, like get-togethers where everybody just talks about the most important apps that their worlds revolve around. Because there are a lot of really helpful apps out there, and it's really great when someone tells you about an app. I'm sure
it also kind of shows you. It's like this idea of if you really want to get to know a person, look at what's on their bookshelves. It also shows you what they deem as important.
This is our modern day bookshelf right here.
It is, indeed. And you can look at, open up their Kindle app or something, and you see what they're currently listening to or reading on Audible or whatnot.
Absolutely.
Now, some people might not want to showcase that.
What they're reading? Yeah. I have no problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at mine. So first of all, excuse the cracked screen. The screen just got cracked a couple of days ago. I'm in no rush to get it fixed, but eventually it will be. And my world revolves around a couple of things. As you can see here, my most important apps are on the bottom here. This is my Gmail. As you can see, my Gmail will give some of you guys like, you got 9,000 unread messages over here. Don't worry too much about that. I missed some calls.
That means, guys, don't message Ammar.
Don't
email him.
And don't call me. I've got my Safari browser. I've got my Google Voice for text messaging. And so this one is actually, as you can see, up to date. So text me. Definitely text me. Then I've got my photos and videos. This is my social media apps. I got my Instagram, my Snapchat, my Facebook, and my WhatsApp. Then over here I've got my boycott because I like to boycott things.
Oh boy.
And here you can, this is a cool app. You can go on and, you know, if you ever go shopping and you just want to see
what's on the BDSM stuff?
Yeah, you want to see if this is an ethical product. And it's not just about BDS, but it's about, there's so many causes. You know, for example, animal welfare. You know, even when I go and I buy eggs, I like to just make sure that the
humane treatment kind of stuff.
Humane treatment of animals and what have you. So there you go. You got boycott. As far as books, this is kind of random, but I have the
Are these individual books or is that an app of books?
So this is an app of this particular is the library of Dr. Salman Al-Ouda.
Oh wow.
So this is an app, and it's a wonderful app where you can just kind of download all of his books.
The text is so fine.
And it's actually really good. It's really well done.
Zoom in, okay.
It looks like the actual printed book. Here's the printed book.
Oh, it's the same book?
Yeah. This is actually, no, this is a different book.
Okay.
But he has a series. So he has a series called Ma'as Siyam, in the company of fasting. Here is in the company of the great Imams. And this one is in the company of God. So this is the book that we've been using for the 99 names explanation, or the backbone of it.
One of several.
One of several. The backbone of it. And Sheikh Salman is a great scholar who, alhamdulillah, today there were rumors that he had passed away, but alhamdulillah, so far it seems that those rumors are false. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give the Sheikh a long life, filled with health, and that he continues to be here for us to benefit the ummah with his writing and with his leadership and with his thought. Then we have here random extras, which is basically stuff that I never use. Although the Sky Guide app is wonderful.
Is that a star map?
Yeah, this is a star map, which I love to use actually.
Oh, this is the one that looks really pretty.
This is, you get to kind of look up at the night sky. And there's a Google Sky app for the Android users, which is actually free. This one isn't free, but it's still worth it. It's worth every dollar. Then we have our travel apps. I travel a lot, Google Maps. Then we have certain photography apps also that I don't really use, but these are just things that I've been interested in at one point in time. It's actually reminding me that I gotta clean it up.
You're like, my home screen is messy.
Yeah. Then you have entertainment apps.
It's kind of like this garage right here, right? So you've got all these storage boxes that I need to kind of get rid of.
We've got our education apps. These are all like really helpful. The great courses. I love these guys. Audible, Udemy, Coursera. Anytime I'm interested in a course. This right here.
Are you taking any courses on Udemy right now?
No. On Udemy, I had taken courses probably last year, but nothing current. This right here, though, is a daily, every single hour type app that I use.
Okay.
This is called Note. Metamoji Note. And this is...
Oh, yeah, this one where you kind of write into your
This
PDFs.
allows you to write onto PDFs. I don't use it on my phone so much, so I don't even know what this is, but I use it on my iPad.
On the iPad itself.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I use it on my iPad itself. What else do we have? We've got the app stores, health apps, your health, your sleep cycle app, your MyFitnessPal app.
MyFitnessPal, for those of you who are interested, is the app to use to count your calories. Because the best feature of that is the reality of being able to scan a barcode and immediately pulling up the macros.
Absolutely. It's very helpful. Then we got our news apps, NPR, Al Jazeera. Then we have these Quran apps that I have. Now, the Quran app, this Bayan al-Quran was my favorite Quran app until they did their update.
Oh, no.
This was an unbelievable app. Is this thing on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, good. This was an unbelievable app. It was perfect like it was. The only thing that it was missing is it was missing my favorite reciter. But other than that, it was...
Oh, it's got the Mus'haf?
It's got the Mus'haf. The print is wonderful. It's got word lookup. You would appreciate that.
Yeah, I use two apps because of that.
So this is just one. It's got the Arabic lexicon or what have you. Yeah. And it's got the English for it. It's absolutely wonderful. It has a mechanism to repeat any verse
any number of times
up to 9 times.
9 times. Okay.
And not only that, but the recitation is not skippy.
Okay.
As it goes from one verse to the next, it's very seamless.
How do you mean? Like, why would it be skippy?
Some you can tell that they cut every verse, the audio of every verse, and they're putting it together.
Okay, I got what you're saying.
Whereas this one is seamless, no matter what the selection it is. Unfortunately, they did an update and they kind of messed up the script. It's no longer. It doesn't look like this anymore. It doesn't look like this anymore. So, it's basically a scroll down type script.
Oh, it doesn't look like a Mus'haf.
No, and for me, that's a no-go.
So what, you reverse updated it?
No, I never updated it on my phone.
So how do you know that it messed up?
Because I've looked at other updates and other people. Other people have told me that it's updated. We checked it, and then I decided to never update it.
So it won't automatically update them.
But the problem is that if you downloaded it on any... So I got this iPad recently, and I can't use it anymore.
What does it look like on the iPad?
Let's look. Let's see.
Let's pull it up.
Actually, I don't even... don't get my password.
I'll cut that part out.
Yeah, you cut that part out. Let's see here. I don't know if I still have it on here.
You're like, you know what? Forget this.
I've actually had to go on a search.
Is this a new iPad?
Yeah. As you can see, I've got the American flag for my patriotism.
I was wondering, why do you have a stamp on your...
just to remind me of my freedom. Then, we have here...
Is that becoming more and more apparent when you travel?
No.
Or is that a joke?
Yeah, it's a joke.
Okay.
It's to cover my camera.
That's the irony. That's the irony. Country of freedom, and you have to cover that camera so you don't...
I thought you would have gotten that, but...
I was,
It's
sorry.
Okay. It's okay. So then here, the second page, this is my recent searching for a new Quran app. Okay. So this is a golden Quran, which so far is in the top running.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
I like the minimalist.
Yeah, it's very minimalist and it's pretty smooth so far. So I'm going to play around with this for a little while.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll be my new replacement. This was another app that I just downloaded.
Why would you replace it if it's already if the old version is still working?
Because I needed something. I'm playing around with it on my phone because I eventually need something on my iPad. So that's the reason why.
Hold on. Testing 1 2 1 2. Okay. So the last couple of episodes were recorded with the audio from here, not from here.
Okay.
So, note to self: improve the audio as best as you can. It's good that we... So, hey guys, you might notice right now that the audio just became superbly...
better?
Better. Because I didn't realize that I had the audio thing selected. I saw the levels going up and down. Right? Testing. 1 2 1 2. Yep. Yeah, see? There we go. So, I had the levels going up and down.
I didn't realize I didn't have the appropriate mic feed because I was recording with that thing previously in another situation. So that's why we were doing these warm-up recordings, so that when we actually get into the actual episodes, all the little kinks and tweaks are worked out. So that's it. That's your home screen.
That is my home screen and that is my life. No, alhamdulillah. So let's check out your home screen now, Belal.
Yep. So we've got my home screen. I didn't need to put in a password. Just scans my fingerprint.
Which is something that I wouldn't do.
Why not?
I'm just not a give my fingerprint to everybody type guy.
No, just Google.
Okay.
And so here's what we got. So
I feel like sometimes that Google is the Dajjal. That's what I feel. I feel like Google is just...
Then what is Facebook?
Facebook might be one of his minions. We'll see who buys the other out eventually.
Oh, you got two monsters. It's like... but anyway, here, I'm just going to mount this up here and bring that down. All right, so... my home screen, number one thing, I'm currently enrolled in a Udemy course. So that's...
Which course is that?
It's a technology auditing certification prep class. So basically to become, for anybody who's interested in technology. So among the things in marketing that has always been involved is data analytics. And part of that is also being able to audit processes in terms of social marketing, what's good, what's not good, what could be risky in that regard. So a friend of mine introduced me to a potential certification that could further my skill sets in that area. So I enrolled into that. So basically it's called CISA, which is Certified Information Technology or Information Systems Auditor.
Okay, great.
So that's one. Then I have your basic finance apps, which includes Mint and whatever bank accounts.
So Mint basically helps you budget and helps you kind of figure out where all of your money is going.
The only thing that the value of Mint has is not in the budgeting. It is not in
tracking your money.
It's simply in the fact that I have a central interface that shows me how much money I have in my checking account. And that too is like 24 hours late.
Why wouldn't you can just use your own banking application for that?
I could, but I have 3 different checking accounts from 3 different institutions.
Okay.
Right. So having a central location for that is helpful.
So it basically tells you, it combines everything together.
Right.
Okay.
And the other thing that it also does, which is the most valuable factor, is that it is personal bookkeeping. You get what I'm saying?
No.
So in the olden days, and this is something that my dad taught me, is like you got to do your bookkeeping. You got to do your own accounting. Right, for your own personal stuff. So the money that's coming in, count your money that's going out, count that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the old days, you would do that with checks and have a whole checkbook and count that account. It was very tedious. Had me doing that in high school. I hated it. Once Mint came out, and now the thing is, in high school, I also started my company. And so I was now doing that manually for my business as well. Hated it. And then I found QuickBooks. Now, Intuit, which is a company, they bought Mint.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so a lot of the things have been, I guess, synchronized between the two companies. So the advantage, though, is now for personal accounting, it's already recorded that I've spent the money from what checking account the money has gone. What I can now go in and put the appropriate categorizations. So now at the end of the year, I can literally dump all of that data from Mint as a CSV file and bring it into Microsoft Excel and do my analysis. And I can go in, do my table setup, pivot tables, look at monthly expenditures, and then create graphs and trends to see how my money is going, where it's going, and how.
Nice.
So that's the major advantage of that. But all the other stuff has to do with checking accounts, calculator, mostly finance related, PayPal, Venmo, sending money, receiving money, and all that. Then we have Home, which is essentially Google Home and Play Store, just administration. Then I have this. One of the greatest things here is File Manager, specifically,
which is what Apple is missing, of course.
You don't have a File Manager app?
No, we don't.
Oh man, like this thing allows me to just kind of like go right in and find whatever file I'm looking for, download it, edit it, remove it, move it, what have you. Obviously Google Drive, because there's a lot of transferring. Cam Scanner is amazing. Cam Scanner, you can take a photo of a document, any document.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if it's written or not, and it'll turn it into a faxable or printable, print-friendly issue. So any text that you have, it can also do OCR potentially.
Nice.
So if you want to convert it to text, but there's a fee to that portion. And when it comes to faxing, you don't need to fax a machine. You can just pay $1 and it'll fax the.
That's great because I was actually looking for that like 2 days ago. I needed to fax something.
Cam Scanner, man. It's really, really useful.
Okay.
Also got PayPal and stuff on this side as well. Zoom for meetings and things like that. eBay. So that's why this is all in the business category. Then I have fitness, right? So stopwatch, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Google Fit, I don't use as an app, but more so just passive tracking. Fitbit, whenever I wear my Fitbit, I lost it. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. Haven't found it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Strava for cycling. Android, I had an Android watch, so I don't use that much. I don't know what FitNotes is.
I feel like the whole watches things, like people don't wear them anymore.
It depends. It's like a tracking. Well, it depends on what you're doing it for. Like I was wearing my watch regularly until I took it off, and then I couldn't find it. I didn't know where I put it.
I see.
And then MyFitnessPal. If anything, if there's any two apps here, basically MyFitnessPal and Stopwatch are the two most useful ones that I use in the fitness category. Then there's Photo. Now, specifically, Photos, which is Google Photos, which uploads everything onto the cloud, and I can track it from there.
Yeah.
The other is PhotoGrid, which allows me to create a photo grid.
Yeah.
Essentially, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Boomerang, an Instagram app, and Repost, which is
Boomerang, an Instagram app.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that do?
Boomerang, what that does is like you can create like it'll basically capture you for like a second going this way and a second going this way. So it'll
I see. It's like it creates like a GIF basically.
Yeah, kind of like that essentially. So and Repost allows you to repost.
You just reminded me. Boomerang for Gmail was an app that I used to love.
What was Boomerang for Gmail?
Oh my god! So Boomerang for Gmail. I used to be very, very email heavy.
Okay.
I'm not anymore, but when you have like a team that you're working with or any sort of management position that you're in, or you need Boomerang for Gmail. What Boomerang does is it allows you to send an email and then schedule a boomerang back. Oh. And so, for example...
So if you're waiting on something.
I'm waiting on something. So I sent you, Belal, an email saying, okay, can you please send this to me Friday at 2 o'clock?
Yeah.
And then I put a boomerang in the app for Friday, 2 o'clock. It bounces back to me. So I get that email back at Friday at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then I am able to immediately send you a follow-up email.
Be like, yo, what's up?
So Belal thinks like, oh man, like Ammar is just Ammar's just waiting. He's been waiting for 5 days.
Yeah.
He's just been counting down the clock.
Yeah.
When really it's just that. And then the second thing it allows you to do for Gmail is it allows you to schedule emails. And so I can send an email out Saturday at 10 a.m. But I'll send it.
Same app.
Same app. And I'll send it right now.
And it's not active anymore?
No, it is. I just don't use it anymore because I'm not
as email heavy.
I'm not as email heavy as I used to be. But it was indispensable for me when I was like...
I can imagine this being a super, super valuable app in a corporate setting.
It was incredible. It was and it was even worth the money. I don't...
Oh,
there's an amount that's free.
Okay.
A certain amount of emails every month or something that's free. And then it's like something negligible, like $5 or $10 even.
Okay.
But it was worth it. You just reminded me when you said Boomerang. Okay.
Yep. So the next one is social, right? So got a bunch of apps here. You got WhatsApp, obviously, Snapchat, which I hardly use. Instagram.
Whereas I'm very Snapchat heavy. I enjoy Snapchat a lot.
For me, my issue with Snapchat is that I got the phone Pixel. I started using Snapchat again because it became fast. But Snapchat is such a hoggy app.
In what sense?
It slows everything else down.
And it kills your battery too.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like I hate that. Like I don't want to use Snapchat because of that. Okay. So if they made it lighter, like Instagram is light, even YouTube is light, right? So now here you'll notice there's YouTube Studio and there's Pages Manager for any pages I'm managing and for any channels that I have active.
So for me, as far as Facebook, you mentioned Pages.
Yeah.
Facebook for me has become incredibly clunky.
Well, are you using Facebook through Pages Manager or as Facebook itself?
Facebook itself.
I have uninstalled Facebook as an app like 8 months ago. And
That's
I have
a good idea.
Not looked back.
And you just use Pages.
I just use Pages for the Pages itself. When it comes to Facebook as a user and a consumer, the web browser is plenty fine. It might not have all the bells and whistles of like all the little emojis and whatever, but like I don't care.
So you go in through the web browser.
Exactly.
And you log in.
I mean, I'm already logged in, like through the cookies. So, but even then, it also helps in productivity, where I'm not getting notifications.
Yes.
I'm not, and it's not. And the other thing is, Facebook app is recording and sending packets of data back out.
How do you know Pages isn't?
Because if it is, well, the way I know it is because my data usage, and this is before I had unlimited data, the Facebook, when I uninstall, I could see what app is sending out the most data.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to uninstall Facebook right now and I'm going to get Pages. So you can keep on going.
Yeah. So we have, Pages. I have the Bitmoji app, which I was using with Snapchat, but again, without the use of Snapchat. Hangouts, LinkedIn, Pinterest. I'm a heavy Pinterest user. I love Pinterest. If anybody want to see what I got on Pinterest, I use it like a woman.
I was going to make a joke about it being for teenage girls, but I just decided not to. But thank you for saying what's on our mind.
Well, the reality is 75% of Pinterest users are women.
Yep.
I'm the other 25%.
I see. So
it's a great place to source ideas, creativity, and all of that good stuff. It's so anyway, Periscope, something that I've been on and off for a little while, and Facebook Messenger and text messages and voice. That's regularly on social. Then we have education. So on the education side, you got Podcast Addict, which is my podcast app.
So I have a podcast app that's just podcast.
Yeah, I don't think it matters what the podcast app is. It's just like,
does one have more access to podcasts than another, for example?
Not necessarily. Like if you're on Apple, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, why don't you use iTunes?
I don't know, to be honest. I've to be honest, as silly as this might sound, yeah, I've never been able to wrap my mind around iTunes. It just seems super clunky for me, awkward, weird. Like I always, even as simple as, and that's probably one of my biggest issues with Apple.
Yeah.
Is it just, I have to go through iTunes to do anything. Well,
that's the thing. Apple is in trying to ensure that you stay within its ecosystem. Yeah. And therefore, I know people who will refuse to move from an Apple system to an Android system, all because all of their songs and everything's indexed in iTunes.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
I have no attachment to iTunes at all. I just
the thing that sucks is like I've bought web series and episodes that are iTunes exclusive, but I can only watch them on my desktop because of iTunes app. I can't watch them on my phone, which is where I want to watch them. So I got Audible, Pocket, Skillshare. Now Skillshare is like a Udemy. So is Simply Learn. Pocket is a great bookmarking app, which I use regularly just to dump things. And
so you come across an article and you don't have the time to read it, you send it to Pocket?
Yeah, I'll usually send it to Pocket, and maybe half the time I'll go back and read it. But I always have that sense of mind, like, it's there.
Yeah.
It's like a collection box, which I can always refer back to. Now, one of the things that I really, really like here, so we've got 3 Quran apps, right? First one is Quran Revolution. Plug.
Very good.
But interestingly, is I've used the Quran Revolution app once.
Plug.
So
I just want to say your Facebook pages has been life-saving already.
You downloaded it now?
I just downloaded it, and it resolved for me a huge problem that I used to have with Facebook app.
What's that?
I'll tell you what it was. For some reason or other, my Facebook app, whenever I would log in, and I would go onto my page, and I would want to type a comment, it would always
comment as Ammar, not Ammar page.
Yes.
Okay. That's why the Pages app exists.
It would comment as my personal profile, which was always super strange because, I wanted to keep those worlds separate.
Yeah, you have to. That's why they created the Pages app, so that you could do that and deliberately disable that option, as I understand it.
From your Facebook. Okay. So I didn't know that. And so up until recently, I would just, I would write a status and then I just wouldn't comment because it was just like, and then people would engage and I wouldn't engage back because I'm like traveling, I'm on my phone, I don't have the time. And so,
the Pages Manager is going to enable you to be a lot more engaged and interactive with the people on the page itself.
And I would ask people, like, how do I do this? And everybody's like, what are you talking about? We don't even understand what you're saying. Eventually, the way that I got around it was I would log in through the web browser and then go into the page.
So you're doing the reverse of what I do.
Yes.
You're using Pages on browser, Facebook as an app.
Exactly. And so now with the Pages, I just tested it out and it commented as the page, which is perfect for me. See, this is the reason why I wanted to do an episode like this, because I feel like people will benefit a lot from the apps that others use.
Yeah, for sure. So now my two favorite Quran apps, and I use these two together almost the same amount. So the first one is the actual Quran app, right? So this has everything organized by surah. You can even look at it as juz. You can even look at it as bookmarks and stuff, right? And so from here, you can pick whatever. So let's go to bookmarks. Let's go to Surah Yusuf. And the cool thing here is I can press and then I can select a particular reciter. I can look for translations and it will put it in this form as well. I can go back to that. Now I'm wondering is if in the updated version that you don't like, do you have this feature? Maybe you haven't found it.
Which one is this?
Like, because right now you're saying how like before it used to look like this.
Yeah.
Right. But then the update made it like this.
Yeah.
So the thing is, this has that. You can switch between the two of them.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's the case, but I haven't found it.
And the other thing I like is the fact that it's got a night mode versus day mode.
I really like that. Usually what I do is I just set my my iPhone has the option for warm colors for night mode. They have night mode or something like that.
For sure. Like you can do that here too. If I can adjust the brightness and I can go to night mode and it will make it a little bit warmer, which is great for nighttime reading, but I don't recommend using your phone in bed at night in general. So let's turn that off. The other thing I also like, in addition to bookmarking and everything, press and hold and it'll give me a bunch of options, right? So I can press play. I can tell it to recite a certain whatever verse to whatever verse, how many times I want that entire set to be played, and how many times I want each verse within that set to be played. And I can also tell it to stop at those verses, or if I don't, then it'll continue reading on. The other thing is I can go straight to translations, and I can pick that. I can pick what the translation is and whether or not it's going to be bookmarked. So this is that app. Now the thing that I have not noticed in this app, which is why I have the second Quran app, which is called My Quran, and same thing here. It opens up here. I literally just go straight to surahs and then pick whatever surah I'm looking at. So we're looking at Surah Yusuf before, and then from here you can go to translation. But the thing that I like,
see, I cannot deal with this type of script at all.
Right. And now the thing is, this is the only reason I use this is simply to select and go to root. And boom, it's got, with each one, I can select.
That's really nice.
The root words and deeper, I guess, and all the other references in which those particular words are also used in. So that becomes really, really useful. So those are my two Quran apps that I like to use a lot. Then in the area of the next group is media, which includes all my entertainment stuff. So now TubeMate is an app that allows me to download YouTube videos. And then I have PowerAmp, which is my audio player for downloaded content. Flickster for movies, Netflix, IMDb, Comedy Central for The Daily Show. That's like the only thing I watch on there. And so now there's one more thing, which is not necessarily on the home screen, but it is on the next screen over, which I am seemingly using this a lot more than what's on here. And I should move probably these three apps specifically, right? Number one is video. All these video apps, among the ones that I use the most is Adobe Clip and Quick. These two apps allow me to edit videos together in no time. And then for vlogs and things like that, I got GoPro, which allows me to connect to the GoPro and transfer directly here. Then there's Hyperlapse. I can record in real-time motion something, pull it into Hyperlapse, and then it'll time-lapse it. All right, up to 32x.
That fast.
Like I have my option 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. And same thing with Framelapse. Now Framelapse is a time-lapse recording tool on the phone itself. I set it to frame lapse. I could mount it wherever and it'll record as a time lapse. And so that and there's also crop. Like let's say I capture something and I wanted to crop it, I can always do that. Now these are all heavy apps. They'll burn your battery while you're rendering.
I see.
So
you got to make sure you're plugged in.
Yeah.
And you're not going anywhere.
Exactly.
And you have to put it on airplane mode, or how does that work?
Well, if you're using Adobe Clip specifically, I recommend putting it on airplane mode when you're rendering, because if you get a call in the middle of a render, it'll interrupt the render and you'll have to start all over. Now, it's not a big deal if you have a short video, like, under 5 minutes. But if you have like a longer video, like sometimes I'm putting out a video that's 23 minutes, something like that, right? That's going to take like at least an hour to render. 45 minutes into the render, I get a call.
Yeah.
So that was that. Now the other one.
And who calls these days anyway?
Well, I got a call from you earlier today.
From me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when my render interrupted.
Okay. I stand corrected.
He's like, who calls? Like, oh yeah, I call. This is another one. It's called Voice Recorder. This is awesome. Like whenever we're having meetings, and I want to just make a note of it, I can just use that. Records very clearly. I want to make a voice note to myself.
What does that mean? This records the meeting itself?
Yeah. So like, for example, I'll play, like right now, this is an audio that I'm recording as a test.
Yeah.
And so what I will do is I can press, now you notice the levels, right? They're going pretty high.
Yeah.
That means the audio is being recorded very clearly.
Wow. Okay.
Right. Press stop, click OK. Let's name this file so I know exactly what it is. Say test. Okay. And then from there, I can play. Now, this is an audio that I'm recording as a test. And so what I will do is I can press. Now you notice the levels, right? They're going pretty high. That means
very good. Yeah.
This is the only audio recorder that I have come across that does it this efficiently. And if I want, I can edit this audio. I can edit it. I can snip out parts of it.
You edit it in the app?
In the app.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And you can zoom in really, really closely right into the little...
MashaAllah. That's
into
great. The waves.
EKG waves, if you want to call them. And this is Canva. Canva is an app that has templates.
Okay, so if you have watched up until this point in the video, and you've been patient, this is the reward right here. This is the reward.
This is the reward. This is marketers' dirty little secret, especially for all those who do event marketing.
Masjid events, and not just masjid events, but events in general.
Right? Here's the thing. You've already got the templates made out for you, whether it's Instagram, Facebook covers.
Ajib. So this is where all of those Facebook quotes get made.
Yes. This is exactly where you can make them. Social graphics, photo collages,
and
posters.
Instagram posts.
Look, posters. Like, and you click on.
This is where you can write your own quote and then quote yourself and then put it on Facebook.
Yes. Like, but look, the designs are pretty good. Like, these are posters that you can make and just set it up, save it, and send it out.
And this is how much?
This is free.
MashaAllah.
Right? And so now what I use it for, not even for posters, not even for flyers, not invitations card, Twitter. I use it for YouTube thumbnails. Right? See all? And then from here, you can literally pick any thumbnail.
And you just replace the text.
Replace the text, replace the image. And so I'll give you an example. I have designs saved. Right? Mm-hmm. And so I can just click on that. I press the background. I can pick any text from my list of texts. I mean, any image from my list of images.
Wait, can you just show us real quick?
So let's see. Let's say I take the smiley face, right? Boom.
Ajib, man.
Right?
MashaAllah.
And then I want to change the text.
Do that masjid one. Let me show. Yeah, right there.
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
That's not a masjid. That's a water fountain. That's frozen. Okay. But yeah, exactly. And it will make it in accordance to the design of the template. So the background is black and white. And so it'll keep it black and white. Similarly.
That's amazing, man.
So, and right
then and there you have a YouTube, not just a YouTube thumbnail, but you could even use it for a YouTube image, for example, or whatever. It just,
you could use it as an image and insert it into the video itself. So this, like for me, has been a huge benefit. And then there's Tetris, which is great for blowing off steam. Because, I like Tetris.
I think Tetris is the most popular game of all time.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, in fact, I wanted to download Tetris on the PS4. Turns out they wanted $10 for it. Even today, it's just like, what?
Yep.
Like I can get it for free on my phone. I gotta pay for it on PlayStation Network.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's pretty much my main home screen. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
What is that app that you keep showing us?
This one?
Yeah.
This is something I downloaded recently. This is my test bed. So new apps that I downloaded, I want to check out. There was actually a podcast that I was listening to by something Gretchen. It was she's the author of books on happiness.
I see.
And so she has this assessment that goes into talking about the 4 different tendencies that people have. And so, which is her book is called The Four Tendencies. And so 4 tendency types, something like that. So I took the assessment. I'm a questioner. Which probably comes.
I would not have believed that.
So, because she describes like 4 types of people. The first type of people are the types of people that find it easy to do things for others but can't do anything for themselves. Right, like in terms of goals.
Yeah.
Other type of people who find it hard to do things for others but find it easy to do it for themselves. Right, like one can achieve their own goals, but there's goals that other people set for them that they find difficult in achieving. Then you have rebels. People who are like, you tell them to do something, just because you told them to do it, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Or if they say that you can't do it, they're going to show you that they can do it. Right? So like that's their just personality. And then you have third type, like the last type of people, the questioners, their whole thing is that they'll do whatever, like they're good at achieving goals for themselves, for others, so long as they know the reasoning behind it. If you can't explain to them the reason, they'll just be like, I'm not doing it. And so, and they're also very inquisitive. Hence, yours truly. So, and then this is Evernote, which allows me to access all of my notes, and then WhatsApp. So that's pretty much my home screen.
Awesome. Well, I hope that everybody benefited from this. And not only that, I want you to comment with your most indispensable app. The app that gets you through. If there's anything that we haven't mentioned, if there's some app out there that's going to save us a lot of time in our lives, if there's an app that's going to make us sleep better, if there's an app that is some sort of incredible collection of books or what have you, sharing is caring. Share the khair, as they say.
Well, you know,
let us know. Comment with that. Yes.
The app with the greatest collection of books is called Kindle.
Yeah, Kindle. I actually don't have Kindle on my phone. I'm still living off of PDFs.
But do you have a Kindle?
Do I have a Kindle?
Like the actual device?
No.
That's like one of the, for the longest time, I was using my phone as the Kindle. Then I bought a Kindle and I was like, oh my God, why haven't I done this for so
I would
while?
never try to read off of my phone.
And
that's
then,
why I have my iPad. I read off of my iPad.
And then I broke my Kindle.
A phone is too small.
Yeah, phone, no doubt, is too small, but you can still adjust it, adjust the whole. No,
I can't zoom in on it and make the text bigger on a small phone.
You can.
I know you can, but I'm saying I would not want to.
No, you can increase the size of the text.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
Okay, but you read articles on your phone, don't you?
Yes, but barely.
Barely, okay.
To be honest.
So you don't do much reading on the phone?
No.
Okay.
I just don't like that.
Well,
I like being able to look at the whole page at one time.
Yeah.
And I like the page to be big enough that I can actually do that.
Gotcha. The other major library also is Audible.
Audible is great. Audible is great.
And if anything, I wish there were more books like these. It's just like, it's interesting. You type in any subject about Islam and Muslims, and it's a bunch of haters.
We should make that the project for 2018.
Not my project.
We should make this me and you, our project. Let's get some books on Audible.
Yeah, we'll publish a book. It'll be called 99 Names and Jesus Ain't One.
Let's do it. But not only that, let's just say if you have any recommendations for books that you'd like to see in the Islamic catalog on Audible.
That would be very interesting.
Yes, if you have any recommendations, any suggestions, please do post them. Please do comment. And we're going to read them, inshallah. And we'll see what we can make happen in 2018.
Which is already 1/12 done. Almost.
You heard it here first, folks. Okay. You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Assalamu alaikum. 39 minutes and counting. See you soon.